to Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hey, it's a Thursday night. Hey, everyone, I'm DK with Adventures in Dirt. Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. Glad to have you here with us on a Thursday night. Tell you what, I'm looking forward to this show for a while. I've been waiting to have these guys on. I'm glad they could give us some of their time. But before we get going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to introduce my co-host for the music, or for the evening. You heard this music before. I want to bring Tony to the stage. What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
We just gotta let
How's
it
it going?
Let
it breathe. Let it breathe.
All right, man.
How's it going? You know what? I'll just say this real quick.
It's hot.
I'm very blessed and very honored that you brought me in before the guests, because these guests are going to rock the house tonight. So
They are.
Thank you very much for at least letting me come in, because I can't wait for tonight. Like you said, looking forward to this week. Like, oh my gosh, like no other, right?
Yeah. See the comment I put over in the thing? I'm like, sit down, shut up, and hold on. This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good description. Yeah, oh man, it is hot. Hot,
Yeah,
brutal.
hot.
How's it up north?
101 today when I got out of work at 5 o'clock, 4:30. 101.
That's
How about you?
nasty.
Yeah.
Like 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah. You know, though, I'd always like it warmer than colder. You know what I mean? I think I'm a warm weather type of guy.
I am the
cold weather
opposite.
type of guy. Yeah, you're an ice fisherman.
I'm
Bundle
ready
up,
for
go
the
out and
snow
shoot
already.
some ducks or something.
Yeah. I like the cold a lot better for sure. But you know what? It's tough to dig in the cold weather.
Yeah.
And we've got warm weather, and this week I got plans for Saturday already. I haven't told you. I mean, you're out for the weekend. You got stuff going on for Father's Day.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that? Your wife told me that you weren't allowed to go out this weekend.
What? Honey. No, I'm teasing. I got a consolation text from Cindy. Does that have anything to do with Cindy?
It certainly does. Absolutely.
You guys.
Yeah, we're heading up. So I convinced her. I said, let's, because of the heat, right? Let's go up to the mountains. Let's get a higher elevation. I know we're close to the sun. We might get some more sunburn, but the temperatures might be a little bit cooler, especially if we can get on the north side of a hill or something. So
thanks, friend.
Thanks,
buddy.
We're gonna head up to Silver Mining Town.
There you go.
And poke around, see what we can find up there. And you know what? To be honest, I'm anxious because
you got a new machine or something, didn't you?
I had a special delivery from Turkey. They sent Relics Radio a triple score.
Yeah,
so,
look at that.
Look at this already right here. Look at
triple score. Not too many of them out there right now.
There's not. So
you've been playing with it?
Did a couple videos. Man, where's it? I'll pull this. So it did not come with a user's manual, but I printed this off, and this is the user's manual.
Okay.
So it is detailed and a lot of information, and then just so I can speak educatedly on it, if that is that a word. I'm reading through this thing, and there's a lot to learn. So right now it appears to be like a fantastic machine. I can't wait to record some stuff and teach and kind of get into that stuff.
Are you taking it tomorrow?
I think I'm going to take it. I think I'll take it up and at least poke around. I don't know when the world's telling me yet, but
get with Cindy. She swings the legend, and it's
very close. Very similar to that.
So get with her. She'll show you the ropes on it. Yeah.
Yep. Anxious for that. So
tonight? Lurker Troy. How you doing, Lurker Troy? I love that name, man. I always like that name.
I love when he shows up. Bill Hayes says, howdy y'all. Drummond Detect.
Hello, Bill.
Comes in. PA Relic Hunters. I think those are some new guys. Those are some newbies right there.
Welcome to the stream.
Southern Relics. Who else? I think that's about it for that. So, Stink Ass Cat.
Stink Ass Cat. Excellent. Welcome to the podcast, to the live stream. You know, we used to only just say podcast, but we got to start changing that up because now we're streaming live on video. We did that, in case you're wondering, we did that because Spreaker is eliminating the ability to go live. They'll only do pre-recorded podcasts at the end of this year. So instead of waiting till then and scrambling, we decided to start doing these live stream video casts, basically. And then we'll take the audio and we'll put it on our Spreaker podcast audio for the Relics Radio, like everyone is used to listening to when if you're in your truck or you're on the road or whatever. But we appreciate you being here, whether you're joining us on video or on audio on the download later. We see your numbers, we get your messages, and we appreciate you for sure. Seventh year for Relics Radio.
Amazing. Yeah. Very lucky. And you know what? Hey, it's growing and still going strong. And we can't say enough thank yous and how appreciative we are of everybody that supports. I get messages all the time. Hey, been listening to you for years, never been able to get it on live or, you know, those kind of different things. And I love to hear those kind of things. Makes me feel, you know, all warm and fuzzy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's bring our guests on. Let's not waste any more time. They've been patient. They've been
I know
sitting in the green room waiting for them to pull up. So yeah, let's get on to it.
Wake up.
We're lucky to
Good morning.
We're lucky to have Dave, Roy, Rich, Zach, and Forrest of PA Relic Hunters. Guys, welcome on to Relics Radio. How's it going?
Zach, you guys are muted again.
Thanks, Daddy and Ken.
There you go. Perfect. Everyone introduce yourself. We'll start with Roy since he's in the upper right, just so people can hear it, especially on the audio podcast replay later. They can set the name to the voice. So Roy, go ahead and I'll have you each introduce yourself.
How's it going, guys? I'm Roy, part of the PA Relic Hunters. Love metal detecting. Glad to be here.
Excellent. How about Rich?
Hi, I'm Rich. I'm pretty much the guy behind the camera.
Yes.
So no one really sees me, but in general, that's who I am.
Thank goodness.
Hi.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave. I'm the senior guy of the group.
He's the dad.
Yes. No. Yes, I'm
He's the dad.
the old man of the group. Yeah.
Yeah. We have that in common, Dave. We have that in common. Yeah. Go ahead, Forrest.
Hey, Forrest. I'm the Garrett man of the group. Just gotta say it.
Just gotta
put it out there.
How about you, Zach?
Hey, I'm Zach. Ken, Tony, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And I'm the Manicore guy.
Excellent.
There you go.
There you go. Tony's love. And then George Washington, go ahead.
No,
That's
Forrest love right there.
He's looking at
That's great.
Excellent. Yeah, well, thanks, guys, man. PA Relic Hunters, like you guys know, right? Like your channel's blowing up, right? Like you've seen it. You've seen it. Just like you guys are doing great.
It's been a steady growth. It started about 4 years ago. So each year we set our own goals to figuring out what we want to be at, and we've kind of exceeded them every year. And you know, it's just awesome to watch. I mean, you know, it's not expected by no means so I mean, there's a lot of channels out there that have that have been doing it a lot longer and still have a hard time getting it. And it just, I don't know exactly what does it, but it's just we're
camaraderie.
Yeah. Just the group.
Yeah. I got a lot of comments about that tonight. So throughout the night, we'll be talking about that. But I think I know what's happening. But I'll tell you what, it's been fun for a guy that watches a lot of YouTube videos with metal detecting for my show and everything. Like it's been a lot of fun watching you guys come together as a group, and then also improve on your video making, the editing, and bringing that excitement. And I think that excitement you guys have is definitely a huge key as to why you're getting the views, why you're getting people recognizing you and tuning in, right? And if for those you out there listening or watching, if you have not heard of the PA Relic Hunters, Tony is putting the links to their social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram in the chat. Also, you'll find it right down below in the description of this video and also our audio podcast. So it's tough, right, guys? Like it's okay. There's two sides of the coin. Rich, you said you're the guy usually behind the camera. right?
Pretty
For-
much.
Whose idea was it for PA Relic Hunters?
So that's funny. So I mean, you've been watching for a while. I mean, Sean and Jerry were originally it was the four of us, me, Sean, Dave, and Jerry. And then, you know, Sean was the original starter within like 2 weeks before I came on, and then Dave came on about 3 weeks after that. And then it just grew from there. And then we got we got Roy, or oh my god,
Jerry.
Sorry, we got Jerry about a year after that, and then Sean and Jerry decided they wanted to with the adventures and stuff like that, so they started their own channel, which is doing well, and I'm happy for them. So we're still friends. It's not like a bad thing or anything like that. And
this all started at COVID, right when COVID come out too.
Yeah, COVID started is when it all started.
We
so.
first all met.
But then, yeah, about almost a year now.
Almost.
It was kind of funny as it all laid out pretty perfect. All these guys up here, the Brady Bunch, us all now. They kind of like messaged us all right around the same time.
Yep.
And we kind of started hunting with them, and yeah, now it's a thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing. It's not going away. So
If they could only see behind the scenes in the truck sometimes.
no, I'm telling you, you guys need to start filming that for sure.
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to change the rating for that.
Yeah, it's all right.
That was like one of the hardest things for me when we started this. Was I got
Trying
my
to keep it.
language is tough. Like I swear a lot.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
other
you
thing.
could say that on video.
I'm filming. Roy, I'm filming.
Yeah.
Nobody-
I couldn't believe.
yeah, I've had to edit a lot out with Roy for.
Do you do a lot of the editing, Rich?
I do all the editing right
All the
now.
editing.
Dave's starting to do a little bit. I'm showing these guys a little bit of stuff too, just to have an extra person do it sometimes. But yeah, it's majority me. That's why they've slacked a little bit and gone out like every other week instead of every week. So
Wow.
it's hard. So
It is tough, man. It's tough for Tony and I
Extremely.
both have YouTube channels, and we know how tough it is to.
yeah,
Well, I mean, not only just to capturing the video is one thing, capturing enough videos the next, and then
Right.
editing it all together to make it entertaining is really an art. It really is a challenge. And here's the thing, though: is if you're the filmer, do you get to detect much? Like, and the rest of you, how do you feel like being on camera all the time? Like you're just
I
like,
hated it.
okay, wait, we got to grab the camera. We got to get this set up.
That's
Hold
it.
on. Don't uncover that tone yet. Don't uncover anymore. But I'm going to go grab my camera.
that was the first learning curve for all of them. It was more of they've never been behind the camera. Me and Dave now were doing it for so much, like we were almost doing it for 3 years at that point. And it was new for them. And they're like, so wait, what do I do? What do I do? But they really caught on. They're all, I mean, everyone's personality always comes out like when you start to talk. And the one thing I learned over time is just keep talking, almost like the podcast and everything else. You just got to keep it moving. There's no dead space. Try to. So even if I'm walking over, is normally talking about something as I go over to it.
Yeah.
And I don't like, we're okay with uncovering the find before you get there, but it's more of it's like, hey, Rich, I got something. Come on over. So I do get to detect. I really do. It's I get a lot of stuff. There are times it's like that place that the hunt of a lifetime. That was a hard one because I was constantly filming, but I was perfectly fine with it that day because it was just
had to have had 1,500 steps that day for you, Rich. Just
Oh,
bouncing
it's
back
insane.
and forth between everybody.
it was insane. I think we had 54 clips from that day.
My gosh.
Wow.
It was insane. So
Yeah. And we're going to talk a lot about that episode because we were
Heck
talking
yeah.
before the show. It was one of the most exciting videos on metal detecting that I've seen in a long time. And that's saying a lot because I watch a lot of videos over the years. And man, telling you what, y'all hit just incredible things, bucket listers after bucket listers, excitement after excitement, things you didn't know what they were. And until the mud was completely cleared and then, crazy.
right.
But real quick before we go on, Tony, I wanted to give a shout out to Metal Detecting NC. Yeah, pretty amazing, man. He sent out a super chat, $10, says subscribe to the Weekly Dirt and PA Relic Hunters. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that, buddy. You're always a big supporter of my Weekly Dirt show and also us here on Relics Radio. I'm glad to have you here and thank you so much for the super chat. Tony and I will go out and grab some coffee. That's almost
There you
going to
go.
buy us a beer. Almost going to buy us a beer. No, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you watching.
That's awesome.
And listening.
Thanks, Mike.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Cool.
But-
Yeah. So, Roy, when did you join the group?
It would have been September last year.
Yep.
I'd called Rich up because I was a big PA Relic Hunter fan, of course. When I got into it, I watched their videos to kind of learn a lot. I found a decent property up the road. I called Rich and asked him if he'd want to come out my way. Where I live, there's a lot of farms.
I got something with this too, but go ahead, Roy. Go ahead.
I knew it was coming, Rich. So, anyway, I go to this property, find a good bit of silver, a good bit of coins. So I'm like, I'm gonna call him up, have him come out here, check it out, and go ahead, Rich.
So he called us up and we're so excited. He showed us a picture of all these silvers he got. I think it was like maybe 15 silvers out of the front yard, which was like an SLQ, Mercury.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just a bunch of silver. And we're like, oh my God, this is awesome. And he goes, I only did like a small section of the front yard.
20 by
We're like,
20. Huh?
Yeah, 20 by 20.
20 by 20.
That's what he said, 20 by 20. So we're like, okay, cool. And he sent us a picture of this thing. And we were like so excited. We're like, oh, that'd be awesome. And it was in the evening. We get there. We spent probably 3 hours.
Mhm.
We got 2 Indian head pennies.
Yeah.
He pulled all the silvers out before we got there.
not all. Because remember, I went back the next day.
Wait. Yeah, that's right. So we didn't get any silver that day. He sends me a picture the next day. He goes, I went back and I found 3 silvers. I go,
Where?
how?
Right along the road, right in front of the mailbox. No one even went nowhere near it.
Yeah.
And I made a point to call him up and be like, here, I sent videos. I was like, check it out, buddy.
Yeah. So I mean, that was an interesting way to meet Roy.
Yeah.
Well, it got better since then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got
Much
better since then.
Yeah.
Roy, isn't your nickname have something to do with the silver? Don't they call you Silver something?
No, that's me.
Me, that's
No,
Dave.
is that Dave?
Silver Sniper.
Silver
yeah.
Sniper.
I don't have a
Sniper.
nickname.
Oh, we're gonna have to fix that.
I know.
All right,
hoping
everyone
for
that
that.
watched the PA Relic Hunters, you got to come up with a nickname for Roy.
Oh boy.
You know who you guys remind me of, and I mean it as a compliment. You guys really coming on. This group dynamic is rather, it gets some views. It, especially if you do it well, and you guys do. Quarter Hoarders group, they got a big group that dig with them, and they put out great videos. A lot of people watch because they like that group dynamic.
Watching tonight.
Hoover Boys, right? They got the group dynamic. Even Stealth Diggers, they had this group dynamic. So keep up the good work. That's exactly paying off for you guys for sure. But Roy, you need a nickname. We need to come up with one for you. So
Hopper fingers.
Yeah,
Hopper
that's
fingers.
right, yeah.
Hopper fingers.
Yeah, he likes to find a lot of
finds
coppers.
all the
so.
coppers. Yeah,
Love the copper.
we do. We even made a picture with his fingers gold, huh, Roy?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Now none of that came. I only had 1 copper until I switched to that Deus.
Oh yeah.
I got 19 of them since.
Yeah.
Wow.
And since September, so he's doing well.
wow.
Yeah.
So we called him Copper Fingers for a little while because I thought that was actually hilarious. He just like, yeah. So
It's all locked.
They find a lot of coppers there, Tony.
That's such a shame.
I know Roy finds a lot of coppers.
Yeah.
We find some. He finds
He
all.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
So
locked.
It's
that's
tough to miss those coppers, though. I mean, come on. What's the deal on that?
I have no idea. He literally is like, I don't know. He gets lucky.
He's a
So
magnet. He's a magnet.
It's all that Tiger Woods swing.
Oh, come on. Give me a
Oh.
break.
Has he got a little bit of a wood swing on him?
Oh,
Oh,
They
yeah.
make fun of it all the
It's
time.
working.
it's
It's
working.
working.
It
Yeah.
is working.
It's just got to be under that coil for a second, man.
That's it. That's it.
That's funny, man.
So,
When Tony and I met, same type of thing. We had talked on forums, and then when we finally were going to get together and detect for the first time, he came up, and I was like, "Yeah, this is about old parkas we've got in my town." And I pulled a Mercury dime. It was my first one ever, and we'd only been detecting for like not even a year, when we got together and met each other. But he's like, "Oh man, that's it. We're done." Like, you go and pop a silver right in front of me,
Right
like
in front of
within
us,
an
yeah.
hour.
oh yeah.
So,
That's all right.
yeah. That's all right.
We stuck around and even away from metal detecting, we're pretty much best friends, and we check in a lot. I'm sure it's the same thing with you guys. You form a bond outside of just the metal detecting or with the metal detecting, and then outside it kind of evolves and that kind of thing. So great community. I mean, it's
I think
amazing.
that's a lot of the reason why our camaraderie is the way it is.
Right.
Camaraderie is the way it is, because we are all friends outside of it. It isn't just metal detecting on the weekends. We all talk. I know me and Zach talk every day. Me and Dave talk every other day. Forrest is a workaholic / getting married kind of thing.
Getting ready to get married, so he's
he's a busy guy.
Busy, busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. So how far do y'all live from each other? You guys all fairly close, or is you hours away? Anybody hours away?
Me and Rich are like what, 2 miles from each other?
Yeah, me and Dave are about 2 miles, and then Forrest and Zach are probably
an hour,
maybe about an hour north. And then Roy's about 35 minutes south.
Yeah.
So when you go, like when Forrest and Zach drive down, it's an hour and 40 minutes to get down there. And most of the time it's a decent day, but it's a hard hit whenever we go and there's nothing, we didn't find anything for the day or something like that. And they're like, crap, we just drove 4 hours.
Long drive.
It's a long drive.
It's a long drive, but most of the time it's still worth it. We still get together. We have a good time. So
me and Rich live in like the city, Pittsburgh. So there ain't a lot of super older houses around here. And if there is, they're all small yards. Where Roy lives more rural farm. So that's where all the nice older permissions are that we get. And then Zach and Forrest live in the older part, but same thing. Their yards are small up there for the most part. So we try to get out to where we can, all 4 of us, find a place that you can actually detect for a day,
Yeah. Sometimes that's tough to find a bigger spot, not just doing a yard.
Yeah.
For us, we've got a group of 4 now. So yeah, we're doing the same thing, looking for more like old homestead, farmhouse, a little bit more land than just door knocking on some cookie cutter houses or something. So yeah.
It's still a good time.
I'm sure we're passing up a lot of good stuff in yards too.
Right.
You're always looking for that oldest thing, but those are the ones that everybody else looks for, and usually door knocks on and it's already been detected. So, what I mean? A lot of places could be a little bit newer, and you're probably just driving right past them thinking,
right,
there could be a lot of good stuff in that yard.
Never know.
I like that you guys are spread out a bit. And does everyone do Forrest and Zach? Maybe you guys take this one. Does everyone do research, or do you have like one research guru?
I'm like I have a history background in school.
Excellent.
And I obsess over maps. I spend hours on hours studying maps, and it's just my thing. And that's kind of what I bring to the table too. And Forrest, I'm actually at Forrest House right now. And I don't know if you can tell by this old guy back here, he's got an appreciation for it too. So
no, I love history. It's more or less, just bouncing ideas off of Zach and, just trying to dig into the books and the history.
Yeah, that's great.
And actually, to go off earlier too, when you were asking about how we all met, actually just a week after Roy met with Dave and Rich, I reached out to them as well. Just a quick question about maps, actually, and Rich was so kind to actually reach out and say, "Hey, I'll just give you a call, and we'll walk you through it." And from there, it just we just started talking, and before you knew it, we started detecting, and it's all history from there. So yeah,
it's crazy.
All being dug
crazy
up.
how that works.
It's all history.
It's all history. No, it was it was kind of funny though. Is even with like Zach and even Roy, like they were just like, man, I can't believe you took the time out to call me. And I'm like, I don't like we started the channel, but it's not like we were like we didn't think of us as anyone different, but they like it's neat to see like the difference, like what people think of us outside of YouTube. It's just like we weren't I didn't expect that as a as a thing. Oh man, I can't believe you took the time to call. And that was one of the things that Zach had said. And I'm like, no, dude, call anytime, man.
Yeah.
And then that's when we started detecting. It was like, yeah, it was just a neat, like, we just all have a good personality together. So it's really awesome. So, and Zach is a madman with the maps. So,
it's LiDAR and everything. Yeah, man. Really cool because you know, the more people you have doing it, and especially if one tunes in, Tony and I call it going down the rabbit hole, right? Like he'll send me something, he'll be like, dude, did you look at this article I found in a Colorado newspaper archive talking about this, you know, this old swimming hole or something. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go find that place. I'm going to do all the overlays. I'm going to find the oldest map. I'm going to look at LiDAR. We're going to do all that. And next thing you know, we're just talking back and forth, you know, not getting any work done, trying to, you know, fill each other in. And now we've got these other 2 digging partners that we've recently kind of hooked up with. And they're all just as freaky as we are, you know what I mean, as far as completely nerdy about it. And we're on this like Facebook chat group with all 4 of us. Oh my God, all day long. It's going off all day long.
Hey, did you guys see the stink ass cat super chat? Hunting as a group helps everyone learn.
I did. And I wanted to take a break and mention that. I know that we were on a roll. I got so many questions for you guys, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't want it to go away because that's pretty nice.
We have it starred. We were about ready to kind of talk about it. Yeah. Hunting as a group helps everyone learn faster, definitely makes it easier on days when one guy doesn't find much, but can enjoy seeing what someone else finds. He has 5 in his group. That's that's awesome, man. It's great to go out in a group. You know, we've met people that go out on their own.
Yep.
And I can't imagine. I mean, there's times where I love going out on my own, you know, here and there, kill some time or something, but I couldn't imagine not detecting with a bunch of like-minded individuals.
I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I've learned just the amount of stuff that I've learned from Rich and Dave and Forrest and Zach. Like, you know, you take feedback from everybody, watch what everyone's doing, see what everyone's finding. It just, I wouldn't be the detector I am right now if it wasn't for these guys. And that's facts.
Same.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, it is neat though. It is like these guys were watching us before they became part of it, and now they're a part of it. And it's like, it's just, I don't know. It's a neat aspect of it all. So
yeah.
Our
new digging partner is the same way, man. Like they had watched Tony and I's videos and stuff. And one of the guys in his YouTube name mentioned Colorado in his YouTube name, Metal Detecting No Code, Northern Colorado. And so we had him on the podcast. We wanted to have him on stuff, talk to him since he was a local Coloradan. And then he was like, hey, I have this incredible permission for one of the oldest houses in Fort Collins. Would you guys like to come out? He goes, I never detect with anybody, but I think it would be cool to detect with you guys. And again, that's history now, because we went out with him that one day. He brought a buddy, Jeff, along, and we just hit it off. And now we've been digging together almost exclusively ever since.
Yeah.
And isn't it cool? I mean, isn't it such a cool hobby? Because when you love it and you have the passion, you get just as excited as the person that found that item. You know what I mean? Even though you didn't find it.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't really get, like, I used to, like, I mean, it does get a little repetitive, like having to run to the next find. But I'm telling you, it is so awesome to see what they're finding every time. And it's just like some have the stuff I was like, I've never seen that before. So like, it's just amazing just to see the stuff that gets pulled out, even though, you know, I think even if it was the 5 of us and we weren't filming, I don't think it would be the same dynamic, because if we weren't filming, half of us wouldn't get up to go look at what they found, because it's like, you're not really, it's like, oh, all right, cool, that's awesome. And then you're going to keep going. It's when you film, it just makes it a little dynamic, as people actually get up to go check out what the next person found and things like that. So it kind of gives you a little more interaction too. So it's really good for that part of it. So
like I said before we started the show here, one of the best moments I've had, one of the best memories I've had in metal detecting in 3 years now, is Forrest finding his first large scent. I will never forget that. Hands down, one of the best moments ever in metal detecting. I could have found nothing that day, nothing at all, and I would have been completely happy because of Forrest. And what is this? What is this? It finally happened. It was great.
Yeah. We picked on him. Now we don't have anything else to pick on him for. So
it'll come.
Well, yes, we do. The Geiger counter.
It'll come.
Oh.
Okay, I got to hear that story now. Got to tell the Geiger counter story.
So I tease him all the time about the Garrett, you know, and it's just a funny joke between me and him. I always ask him if he's going to come into, you know, this century or not, and if he's done using the Geiger counter, and you know, he's not looking for, you know, radiation. He's looking for coins. So, you know, does he want to upgrade? I mean, at this point, I'm ready to just go buy him a bounty hunter.
No,
Oh,
but we need some sound effects on this show, man. Put
Wow.
rim shot.
Oh man.
We rib each other pretty good. Like I said, if you guys would have a camera in the truck while we're driving around, buddy, I'm ruthless. I'm I'll tell you, I'm ruthless. I throw jobs all the time.
yeah. It's funny as we had like the one hunt we went to, we showed at the end on this whole bucket of trash that we had.
Yeah.
Half of that actually was Forrest's.
Come on now.
All the good stuff was right after he went over it. You guys just came behind him and found all the good stuff.
Oh, no, good signals.
Yeah, I always follow Forrest. So
Always follow Forrest.
One of these days, that big iron's going to be something good.
That's right. I like your attitude, Forrest.
that's
You
it.
did almost
positive.
all of us
Always.
on the big video when you did almost all of us. 4 coppers in Colonial.
Yeah.
We started on that mud.
Hey, Forrest, that vortex is coming, buddy. Don't you
Yeah.
worry. That vortex is coming. And but you know what, man? What are you swinging, AT Pro or AT Max?
AT Max.
Yeah. Can find plenty of good stuff with that thing.
And he does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You probably know it. Like the back
If
of your
he's not
hand.
over there, if he's not over there at the house touching the wood on the side of the house.
Oh yeah.
I love the architecture too now. Come on.
So,
He usually
listen,
spots
we
the
get this
houses and he
permission.
can identify how old they are.
Yes, we get this
I'm a house
permission.
guy.
Yes.
That's Mr. Pottery.
We're all sitting there
And water.
detecting, right? And we're looking for Forrest. And we're like, where's Forrest?
Yeah, he's
We
always
look up over there. Forrest is up over there, and he's touching the side of the house. He's looking at the house, touching the wood. We're like, what are you doing?
Wait. No, it was a nice old cabin. You don't find too many of those around, so you got to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, you appreciated it. You caressed
Oh,
it and let it know you were
Petting
his
it.
friend. And
Yeah.
Hey, I love it. I don't know what else to say.
He respects
Yeah.
the wood.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That wood and pottery is his favorite thing.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Neither one he can
Oh, yeah.
find with a metal detector. So.
It all tells a story. It all
That's
tells
it.
a story.
There you go.
But it's a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys poke a lot of fun at each other. That's great. And you know what, Roy? Put cameras in the vehicles. Rich could always pick and choose which one of those clips he wants to take. I think
There
that
would
would
be
really add a
so
lot.
many
to your-
beeps from me talking. It would be like I wouldn't
Would
even
drown
go,
everything out.
beep 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 because I just
Yeah.
my language
With a
is
metal
off.
detector.
I'm right there with you, Roy. I tell you what, man. I was
Yeah,
lucky enough
those
to find a
punches
gold
too.
coin, and the guy I was with, who was filming me when I found it, that guy was a master editor.
That's what we say Rich is.
Zach at the Great Outdoors is just absolutely a master editor because I don't know how he cleaned that up.
Yeah, God bless Rich, man. He does a wonderful job on the editing and all that. And I still to this day, I mean, I've got better, but I still to this day curse and Rich kind of like, gives me the old like look and is like, settle down.
Take two.
Yeah. And then I get excited fast when I dig stuff out of the ground and I'm like, Rich, and I don't even know what half the stuff is. So that's why I get so excited. Hey, I found something cool. Can you tell me what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
So, Zach has a good few punches in the truck too, though. He likes to. He doesn't know. He just keeps going sometimes too, and it's like we think it's gonna stop, and then all of a sudden he just keeps going. We're like, oh, I didn't expect that to stop. I thought it was gonna stop 10 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden he goes, and then he'll just throw one more punch in there, and I'm like, dude, that's so great.
Just keep it going. Just
Just
keep
keep
it going.
going.
PhD, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Forrest's copper. I was watching those videos and I was going to feature you guys that week on the Weekly Dirt. And I was, usually I try to capture some still image from a video or something using my thumbnail. And I knew I wanted to use something from yours because it was just so exciting. And I made 4 or 5 of them from your guys' videos. And you probably saw the one I went with, but the one I did have was Forrest going like this because it was so exciting, and it showed so much emotion. And I had that for a while and I ended up just choosing another one, but it was sure exciting, man. And we should start to talk about that video, and we'll put some links up for it. If you're listening to us, you're watching us, and you don't know what we're talking about. PA Relic Hunters here put out a couple videos, actually. Were they both from the same site? How many videos did you put out from out there?
We had from that day, we had 2, and then we had a third video go out that was just like miscellaneous from going back and forth. So 2 from the same day. We're upper part and then lower part, and the lower part was way better than the upper part, but
you're talking 9 hours we spent on that site.
Yeah. Total, between 2 different days. So yeah, it was an insane.
Well, that was 9 hours the first day.
Remember?
Yeah. Right. And then we went back several times after that. Me and Dave went back the one time by ourselves, and then we've been there plenty.
Then we forgot to put in a clip on the third video where Forrest actually found a 3-cent nickel.
Ooh,
in the water. And he filmed it, but we forgot to get it into there, and it never made it in the video.
Okay, stop right there. Because you all heard that. You all just heard that. Some of you saw it. It's an incredible hunt if you're forgetting to put a 3-cent nickel in your video.
Yeah.
I mean, that just means that you have so much content. Yeah, I forgot that. Oh, well, we'll put it in some other episode. And I am not kidding you. The finds were one of the most amazing videos I think I've ever seen, watching all the videos I've watched over the years. And that's saying a lot. I think out of the 2 episodes, the one I loved the most was the 280-year-old swimming hole. Has even more lost treasure around. That second video, one, I got a question like, what's the whole swimming hole tied to the swimming hole? And because I didn't know that.
Explain the early trail that you found out.
I found like a 1700s trail that went right through there, and to Rich's credit, he there was a spring, but for everything that we found, especially in the water, it had to have been a swimming hole of some sort, just the way we were finding things there. So
there was an old, like the way the hill was there, it looked like they could easily have blocked it up at one time. And it was probably made into a swimming hole at some point, or it was just it was deeper at the time. But it had a lot of that nasty black.
Oh, yeah. So disgusting.
Stinky.
It wasn't that gross. I bathed in that. I would bathe in it.
You did bathe in it.
Oh yeah, if I find that, I'll bathe in that all day.
Yeah, you had your hands on in it. You're like, I got this. I'm like, I'm out of here. I was getting out of that. I couldn't even. I was ready to throw up as it was. Getting into that stuff, smelling that stuff.
That was like quicksand walking in.
So nasty.
It was just one of those things. As we looked at it, is like we find such a vast amount of things, like different things that we did find there, that it had to have been like, there's a reason why it was what we were finding, because they were probably swimming, and then there was, colonial, there was all the way back to finding the Real with the colonial
trading facility down the road.
Right. It's one of those things that it just was placed in the right spot, and where the road was, it had to have been somehow used as a swimming hole at some point. So,
and if you look at the one video where we were, the area where we got the big video, but right across the road, we had done a couple weeks prior. Dave found a War of 1812 button. I found that dragoon hat piece. There was all kind of stuff that come out of that yard, and that was literally right across the street from where we were at. That whole, say, 1 mile radius is where we have found a lot of stuff.
Civil War items.
Yeah, Civil War, pre-Civil War, post-Civil War. There's a story there that we unfortunately can't fully tell, just because it just gives We just can't give names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like the story there is unreal. As much as we would love to put a video of the story, we just can't do it. So it's an amazing place. It was just the history was just perfectly placed. So
yep. And the permission was through my wife. So Zach and that, researched all the history and all that, but that's a family friend of my wife's family. So she was able to get us right on it. It was like easy. We didn't have to argue and fuss and fight. And it was never detected before. He's never allowed anyone on the farm before. So it was like fate. It worked out real nice.
What did they think of the finds you guys came up with?
So if you want me to be 100% honest, really didn't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was weird. Like and Dave tried showing him a bunch of stuff and he's like, yeah, cool. Bye-bye. And he just drove away in his little 4x4 thing. Yeah. He just didn't. Yeah, we offered to make him like a plaque and give him some of the items and stuff like that. He's like, nah, I keep all that stuff. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other one too, is a lot of the stuff isn't super valuable. It's just that what you found was amazing. That goes for a lot of the things you find, unless you're finding gold, but a lot of those coins you do find out of the ground. I mean, it's more of the sentimental value and the idea of what you're finding and where you found it is amazing. So, but you just you don't expect it, and it's just it's hard.
They must have got a kick out of how excited you guys were, though. You know what I mean?
So they weren't even around us.
They weren't around.
No.
Yeah, they were up at the newer house, and we were down behind the barn and at the barn itself down at the trail. And like I said, a lot of credit goes to Zach and Forrest on that, because them guys did a lot of research, and Zach pulled up like old pony trails and stuff like that, which gave us a better idea of which way to go. And I mean, like I said, I don't think Zach and Forrest get enough credit for all the work they put into the researching of the areas and all that stuff. It's without them guys, man, it would be really tough. Like there's a lot of work they put in behind the scenes, just as well as what Rich does with the videoing and editing and stuff. Like there's just a lot of work behind the scenes that I don't think people realize. And I'm very appreciative to be involved with a group like this and with people like this. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a group effort. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's neat. So, but that hunt was by far, I can't say we won't top it eventually, but we've had great hunts, but this one was just, it was special. It was just, there was just something about it. It was just like, we had an idea because of the research. We knew that it was going to possibly be okay, but we didn't know what we were going to get there. And just the stuff that we did find there, it just blew us away. And it just was nonstop. Like you go to some places and it's like 1-2 of those things that you get. And you're talking over a year, you might find some of those things. And we found it all in one place. It was just, never ending. It was amazing.
That's why we started doing a lot of live digs there too, where, you always get the curse of the live dig.
Right.
But it was just, that was the
paying off.
Video
yeah.
To show a live dig that, look, this is actually in real time of us doing it, to show you, this is being pulled out of the ground. You could see the imprints on there that it's been,
Another funny thing is I had taken my dad there prior to everyone going there. I found my first large scent there. And my dad, he yells my name. I get down, I'm on the backside of the one hillside. And he's like, hey, I found this buckle. He pulls this buckle, a War of 1812 belt buckle. You got to be kidding me. It was, like there's the
Great
amount
sight.
of stuff that was found there was insane.
British one or like a militia one?
I guess it's like a militia one. Rich would have to tell me on that one. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just, the only reason I know what it was is because the one friend of mine that was with us, he had sent a picture to his friend, and he come back and he sent me the other picture of it's a War of 1812 buckle and that. So,
yeah, the sheer diversity of finds, that's what impressed me about the hunt. That's why I thought it was an amazing hunt, right? Because you can go on a hunt and find 8 silvers and it's an amazing hunt, right? Mm-hmm. But you guys found the gamut. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Did you find a silver thimble? I don't know if you did or not. But I mean, it was the full gamut, right? There was relics. There was a buckle. There was coins. There was coins from all over the spectrum. Silver, copper, crazy buttons. Yeah. Let me ask you this. So Tony and I and our buddies had a hunt similar to that. And I mean, Colorado, awesome hunt. And it was like we hunted, no one was finding anything for about an hour, and then it hit, and it hit for like 4 hours of just intensity, screaming, yelling, oh, celebrating. And 3 of us film for our respective channels. So, when somebody finds something, you have 3 others coming and running. Was it like that for you guys, or were you finding stuff right away and found stuff throughout the day? Or was there a dry spell and then hit it and then it didn't look back? Or how did that go?
So if for no, we were hitting, like when we were at the upper part, it was definitely, we were hitting, like it was nonstop. It just kept hitting stuff. But we have gone to places to where I think we all go in with a different aspect. Like you just go, you're like, oh, I'm going to look for, like, you think you're going to hear these tones, and then you just don't, you're like, oh, there's nothing here. And then all of a sudden it does. We've had that to where it just starts taking off. This site was not like that. It was nonstop. It just, Roy, right off the bat, I think his first signal was a crotal bell, and then his second signal was a trime or a half
time. But Dave got the first find. Dave, we weren't there 5 minutes. Dave pulled the large scent out.
Yeah, he got the large scent right off the bat. So I mean, it's like that one was insane. Like it just was nonstop, and that, I think that's where a lot of our emotions were, because we didn't have that lull at the beginning, but we have gone places to where you don't hear anything for a while, and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're gonna probably get going, and then all of a sudden you just start finding things, and it's just like, oh, and you slow down, and it's like you don't realize
you don't have productive days like that.
Yeah, so you, like that, when you slow down and take your time, and sometimes that's when you start finding the things. But here it just was literally every find was a good find, and it just was. And besides the big bucket of trash,
garbage,
we
did dig a lot
of several buckets of trash.
Hey, like I said, I got to dig that bucket of trash. I'll do it just to do that all over again.
Oh,
100 times.
You and me both.
Yeah. It was an amazing hunt, and it was just fun, and it was neat because we all got to do it together, which was even better. So,
and the plethora of stuff was nice, the buckles and all the stuff.
Yeah. So,
and I love buttons. So the buttons are great.
We had a lot of people tell us that we were overreacting, and and we were real theatrical. And I'm like, I don't think you can stop that. It's like,
it was a day of dreams. Yeah, that's what it was. I mean,
it just was nonstop, and it's just like, and since it was nonstop, your emotions just kept getting higher and higher, and it just was like, you didn't want to go to the car to go get water because you miss out on something, and it just was.
That's rough.
It was insane.
No one wanted to leave because everyone was afraid that they were going to miss out on some of the finds. It was crazy. We were just like, I mean, Rich is a machine with that not eating and not drinking all day anyway, so that didn't bother him at all. But,
it was one of the ones. It was a hunt to remember, and I think I talked about it I still talk about it, obviously, but it's just, it was an amazing hunt. It was I just can't talk about it enough. I mean,
Zach's expression when he pulled that cat bus, it was like, that was priceless to me. That was another thumbnail.
Zach, what's that face?
The face of
The face of
did tears come? I don't know if tears came, but they look like they were almost there.
Roy had some with the eagle breastplate. I mean, honestly, goodness, who would have thought? Like, Western PA did not get like what we found, like with the Civil War bullets. Western PA wasn't a place to find it. It would be either something that he brought home from the war or whatever. But for some reason, when we found it there, it was just absolutely insane. We're like, oh my, like we were just in awe to see that there. So, I mean, we're not Gettysburg.
Like you said, we knew the history of why it got there.
Yeah, and to find
it all connected the dots exactly, like without giving up too much information.
Oh yeah,
that was a massive bucket lister for me. Like I love military stuff, like anything to do with military. I just love it. So for me, it was game over.
Yeah, it was neat. And then
I didn't want that clip on YouTube though. I did not.
You did not?
No.
Man, that was so exciting, Roy. I felt for you because you were suffering from a migraine that day too. I don't know how but you probably didn't want to leave. I understand that, but
the end, I was done. And everyone wanted to keep going. And again, I'm gonna go back to my man Zach here. He's like, all right. He's like, let's shut it down. Roy smoked, and halfway back to my house, which is only a couple miles from where we were, we had to pull over. I had to throw up. It was terrible. The migraine was awful.
Yeah.
but it was
And dealing with that while you're dealing with extreme excitement and, you know,
and trying to, you know, I'm not real comfortable with the filming as it is. So I'm trying to keep like a good face and trying to be not using my normal language while having the migraine. It was tough. It was, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But it was well worth it. I'd go through that every day, all day again, and have another day like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, it was amazing.
I encourage everyone to go over and check out that video. We put links in the chat again. So if you're watching this stream later, just go scroll down the chat. You'll find it, or look in the description right below. If you happen to be catching us on the replay, which we know a lot of you do, just look down in the description of the podcast and you'll be able to find the link to head on over there and watch that video, or a couple of videos. We actually have a couple of links to their videos and to their channel. Go give them a look, man. I'm telling you what, it is worth it. It is worth the watch. If you love finding relics and coins and being out with your buddies and getting excited to y'all sharing that excitement, I guarantee you're going to have a good time watching that video. Tony and I are such geeky about it. One time we were, you talk about getting excited when your buddy finds something cool. We've told the story before, but Tony was out detecting. I was working, stupid work, right? I was working in Tony's out detecting, and he's detecting in an area that we've hit before, and it has some military artifacts. We've been lucky enough to find some Colorado military artifacts. So we're checking it out, and Tony FaceTimes me, and he's like, dude, and he had a company letter. He had a cavalry company letter. I think it was like a B. And he's like, check out what I found in this field that we'd found other military relics. And we are always wondering what group, what division, what company was through there. Oh my God. Now that just, told the story, man. Now we can go research company B, the cavalry, probably was it 1st Colorado, 2nd Colorado. I don't know, but it was just exciting. And like 5 minutes later, and I'm in my office going, wow, wow. And then what happened, Tony?
Well, you had said, well, if there's a company letter that came off of a cavalry cap, there's going to be there's got to be cross sabers there, right? I mean, and he's just, that's the first thing that he said to me. Thanks, Ken, dude. I'm going to look around, get off, collect myself for a second, go back over the hole. Didn't even fill it back in. And like 6 inches away, get another really good tone, dig it up. It's the cross sabers. And I right away, to FaceTime again. And I've got awesomeness just coming down my face like crazy. Ken's losing his mind.
Yeah.
And it was
coming
just
in to see if I was okay. They're like looking in my door. You're right in here. I'm like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
But
and I didn't even find it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't
right.
even find it. And I'm just as excited as he is out there finding that stuff.
That's how we are with each other too.
Yeah. I mean, we will.
I love that.
Even with that video, like, I mean, we put it out. It's, YouTube's algorithm. You never know how it's going to work out. And, either it was the title or, thumbnail end up being decent enough to where people wanted to click it. But it just ended up blowing up, and it was a decent, like, it was a good video. It just ended up starting to be seen by a lot of people, which was awesome too. Yeah. Like DK, you saw it. Quarter Hoarder happened to mention it, which was awesome. So, we look up to that guy just because, he's doing well and everything like that. And he's in PA. So it was kind of cool. It was cool to be named on his show and everything like that. And so, like, you never know which video is going to do well, which one's not going to do well. We knew it was a good video, but is everyone going to click it? And it just happened to do well. It just happened to be a perfect storm for it. So,
yeah, I know you guys probably won't agree, but I don't think it had to do with the fines. To be honest with you,
I brought.
I don't think that was the star of the show. Go ahead.
Good.
What'd you say, Dave?
You want to pull me back up? I got the.
Oh, hey!
Oh, look at this! Bragger!
Yes,
Hardy hat pin.
Hardy hat pin.
That was pristine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wow.
It was unreal. The color.
It don't have the. Pin
Good job not tagging it. Good job.
No,
Good job.
No marks on it. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that was that.
You knew what it was immediately when you pulled it out?
No, I didn't know what it was. I never seen one before.
I thought it was a head.
And Rich goes, "You serious? You know what that is?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I thought it was the head.
So we hurried up and Googled it. Yeah.
But it was it goes on the side.
It's on the side.
Holds the hat up, which I didn't know. So I'm not
old.
a master, but
I've got to say, I'm jealous of that because I actually found a whole one, but it was all disintegrated in small little pieces, and I was able to at least put
Really?
together like 6-7 different pieces.
Oh,
We
wow.
knew exactly what it was based on the pieces, but
Uh-huh.
that's amazing that they get that full complete like that, not corroded, and
Yeah.
fantastic.
It had good color to it too. It still had some of the the gold
Beautiful.
wash on it.
I told him I want to buy one of them repo hats so I can put it on there and wear it while I'm
Absolutely.
I wish you'd have done that and wore it today.
That would look neat. Huh?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think made the video so good? If you don't think it was the finds,
I think it was the excitement you guys generated, man. People like to be brought along on a story. People like to be brought into the video and have a feeling, right? Who was it? Shoot. There's a saying, Angela, there's a saying that says, people will forget what you say, but they'll never forget on how you make them feel. And I think that has a lot to do with why people like that video, because the 100 and something thousand views that you have on that video didn't come from other detectorists. It came that knew about those finds. It came from people that YouTube saw that as a good video and pushed it out to say, here, you guys are going to like this video. And they watched it, and they did. Because of the excitement, because oh my God, it was fast paced. The editing was sharp. There was things happening all the time. And it was like you didn't get a breath. You know what I mean? Here's somebody told me that, here's somebody told me this. They said, when somebody clicks on your video, first they have to click on your video, right? And as soon as they click on your video, they're looking for the reason to leave. So think about that when you're editing, right? And it seemed like on that video, you did a great job. You never let the audience leave. I'd love to know your retention on that video, but you guys got a lot of views because it was a really good video.
Yeah, it's not as high as I would like it to be, but it was up there. I mean, that
surprises me.
Yeah, it's definitely not as high, because I think what happens is since it was a good video and it turned out well, they push it out to a lot of people that may not actually be in thing. So they watch it for the first little bit.
And they're like, this ain't my thing. Yeah.
Right. So they watch for a good bit, and then they'll leave. So, I mean, the
swimming hole, I thought I would see some bikinis. There's no bikinis.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, we could definitely do that for Forrest if he wants. So.
Sorry, Forrest, for making that suggestion.
Well, he's the only one who has the good looking bod. He's the youngest one. So he's the young guy. So we wouldn't look good in a bikini.
Yeah. I mean, for us detectorists, I think it was all about the finds, because we can all relate, and the excitement also too. But I just really think what pushed it on beyond metal detectorist viewers is the excitement, and it was done well. So I highly recommend you go check that out. You guys are going to love it. But Dirt Cloud metal detecting.
Yeah. Dirt Cloud says it was one of those sit on the edge of your seat videos because you didn't know what you were going to find next, and you guys were in like a feeding frenzy. So it was nonstop. It was, like Ken said, you didn't get to a spot where they wanted to click off. It was what's next, what's next, and you're always leading them along, and just kept people engaged. And it was a great video, great finds.
Great analogy too. Like, what would you rather watch on TV? A bunch of fish swimming around peacefully, or a feeding frenzy?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
They're sharp.
Chum in the water. You're gonna get excited.
I mean, we still get excited, even though that this is, it was probably one of the finds of our life, like our hunts of a lifetime for right now. But we still get excited when we go out and find a mercury dime at this point, because it's still silver, and silver, and like it's history, and it's still there. It's so we don't look at this as a basis as like, oh well, we found that stuff before, so we're not really all that excited about the mercury dime and the rosy, even though it's rosy. It's still rosy, but it's still silver, and we get excited for it. And I think that helps too, because I mean, I truly get excited when someone else finds a silver, no matter what it is. So I mean, obviously older is better, but
silver brings
definitely loves that silver.
Oh yeah.
I think the longevity of a detectorist has that type of attitude that you're talking about, because I have a pretty good friend in Ohio, and man, he jumped into detecting and just hit so many great, fantastic spots. And he actually found a KG 2 or 3 in Ohio, and he lost all the passion for it after that, because he wasn't passionate about finding the Rosie or the silver 64 Washington. He had lost that passion, and he doesn't detect anymore. And to me, it's a shame. I think the longevity are those people that can hang on to that passion. Silver, man. I mean, I know silver, and I still love digging up silver. I don't
We all
care
come running for silver, man.
Yeah,
I still love it.
Relics
I'd
are
rather find
Yeah.
the relics like
Relics.
Well, of course.
Me and Dave really like the buttons and the relics.
Yeah,
like that Rough Riders medal you found. That is incredible.
Yeah.
I watched that. I'm like, that is the coolest thing.
It was so
Well, thank
cool.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
In fact, it
And
was in the
just-
middle of the field, in the middle of nowhere.
middle of
Right,
field,
right.
and there was nothing else found around it. We scoured around there, and nothing else came out after that. So it just was just a moment. And 1905, it wasn't that long ago compared to Civil War, Rev War type of things. But the history side of it, again, we start then going down that rabbit hole, trying to figure out exactly what it is. And then you see a picture that Teddy Roosevelt was at that reunion.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I mean, at that point, it's like, if you don't have a passion for it, whatever. But to me, it was
Can't be
like
my friend.
speechless. Right.
This hobby's
Exactly.
crazy though, because it's like for us, like I like the fact that I can actually call these guys and go like, oh my God, I brought this piece home and I actually cleaned it up, and guess what it was? And,
Right.
and like they get excited for it and they're happy about it. But I go to work and I go, dude, you're not going to believe what I found. And I tell it, and they're like, oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
How much, is that worth anything? How much is that worth?
Oh,
Right.
that's exactly the question you get. You're like,
It drives me. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. It drives me
Drives
crazy.
you nuts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't sell nothing. Like my wife is ready to kill me. I turned my garage into our war room. I got display cases down there, and she's like, "Roy, what are you doing?" And I'm like, I ain't selling nothing. Like I keep everything. I don't care what it is. I keep it.
Yeah. A lot of people look at it as junk, but it's not. It's just amazing. Like it's just even down to the smallest thing. I love to know that there was a story behind it, and just and then like you said, it's just finding one thing, and then you want to kind of like research it to find out why that was there. Right. So, and like we did, it's just I don't know. It's just amazing. And that's where Forrest comes in and Zach come in, because it's like we go, hey, what do you think of this? And why do you think I was there? And then they start doing the research.
Yeah.
Now I
find stories on what.
Now let me be honest. Me and Dave both do research too, but these guys do it a lot better. And like it's one of those things that it's nice not to have to think about it as much, because they actually find the stuff that's like we'll go with an area and say, hey, check this out, what do you think here? Or Roy will say it, or Dave, or whatever, and then Zach and Forrest are both just on it, like they're just like, oh dude, there's this here and this was here. And I taught Zach how to use the LiDAR, so it was kind of cool. So
now Zach just needs to teach you how to do a 3-point turn.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Here comes the truck. Here comes the truck.
Or left. When we say make the left, left,
turn.
Rich, not right.
Yeah. I have a big truck. It's sometimes hard to,
I got a big truck. I got a big truck. I got the same truck.
it's kind of, but
I can still do mine in 3, not 8.
yeah, well, it is what it is.
Oh,
I see how it goes.
There's
I
the
see how-
jabs. See the jabs?
I see it.
yeah.
But there's nothing better to us. Like Tony and I first started out. When we first started out, we were like, yeah, silver. Let's go door knocking. Let's go, parks. And then when we first started finding relics, we immediately became almost exclusive relic hunters. And to this day, if we, finding coins in Colorado, especially the places we're hunting, because we're looking for the relics, finding a coin is very, very rare. Wow. Finding a silver coin, even more rare. So we just love the relics, man. Anything you find,
all about the relics.
and one of my favorite relics, I haven't done a video on it yet, but I'll tell you guys about it. I brought it home, didn't really know what it was until I got home, type of thing, and did some research on it. But when I dug it up, it looked like almost like a milk cap. It was metal, made out of thin metal. You really couldn't bend it too much, so it was thick enough that you really couldn't bend it. But I didn't know if it had threads on the inside or not, but it just looked like this little cap. But it had writing on it. You gotta love writing, right? And it said the Centennial Watch along the top. It had Memorial Hall across the middle, a picture of Memorial Hall, a building, and then the Memorial Hall below it, and it said 1876.
Oh, I'd have loved it.
So I didn't know what it was. So I started researching it, and I got home and put it on ID Me and started doing my own research. And I found a picture of it in this
one reference, right?
Go
One
ahead.
reference of it
one
online.
reference. That's only one reference I found in the Smithsonian. What happened is the International Exposition of 1876 in Philadelphia that they did, right? They had this huge exposition, like 10 million visitors, all this stuff, and they gave away these little souvenir pocket watches at this International Exposition.
So you got
and I got the back of it.
Wow.
And it was at a stage stop, that stage stop I told you about in Colorado.
In northern Colorado.
Yeah. What was that doing there, you know? And it was like, I only found that one instance, and they didn't even have a picture of it. I just read about it. The Centennial Watch kind of gave it away. And then somebody on ID Me sent me a link to a Worth Point link, like an auction link.
Yeah.
And it showed a picture of it, of like actually what it was. It was made in France. All the souvenirs were made in France. Like this exposition where they introduced bananas to America. Like there wasn't bananas in America before this exposition, you know,
Really?
typewriters and all this, you know, American ingenuity was displayed there, you know, and that thing's just, it's so cool. And I'm just trying to find the best way of making a video on that, because I want to do it justice, you know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, I just love stuff like that. You bring it home, you're like, hey, Tony, you know what that thing was that I found? I'm glad I kept
that
it.
a lot to the guys too. Yeah. I mean, even with the hunt we did, I mean, all the coins we found, I mean, it was amazing. If it wasn't for the relics that went along with it, we wouldn't have been able to place a story, because I mean, we find coins,
Right.
There's no story in a coin until you find something to place it with it. So the relics are where, you know, that's why we're PA relic hunters. And I mean, coins are great. I love coins, but to find a relic is definitely something that is just
one of a kind.
A lot of times it's people threw that stuff away. It didn't actually make it even into the ground. It was just, you know, it was disposed of different ways. And, you know, to find it later, you know, and then it definitely helps you find in place of, especially buttons. Buttons are another one to help you with placing why things are where they were. So, and the story behind it. So,
yeah.
I'm trying to stir the chat up a little bit, guys, because I'm the only one talking in the chat. Like, you know, I know you guys got keyboards over there. And I know you guys can
come on, let's go
in the chat. Like, I'm looking at all this chat, and all I see is Roy, Stink Ass Cat, you know, all these other guys. I don't see no Rich, I don't see no Dave, no Forrest, no Zachariah in there.
Yeah, we have an excuse. We're running the show, but come on, guys, you can get your fingers do the talking, man. Let's go.
I'm in here. I'm blasting away.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Thank you, Roy.
Yes, sir.
I'm always looking at the camera. I didn't want to look down like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to be presentable.
Thank you for everybody coming.
Yeah. Everyone's showing up. That's great.
Thanks, Roy, for typing.
Yeah, buddy.
You're the representative typist.
Yeah, team event here.
I am the most talkative person of the group, I think. I definitely talk a lot. I mean, you're close, Rich. You're close.
It's a close second. And then Zach's right there. Forrest, I actually thought he didn't talk at all until
you thought he was a deaf mute for a while.
I thought he was a mute, yeah.
He's the shady guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
don't that story. You want to tell that story?
Oh, no.
So funny story, right? So we decide we're going to go to this one old property. We wanted to go there a bunch of times. It's super old. It's up on a hillside all by itself.
Nobody was ever home.
Nobody was ever home. So we decide one day we're out detecting, we're out door knocking. We're like, hey, we're just going to drive up there, check it out. We come pulling in the driveway, and this lady, man, woo. So I wouldn't even get out of the truck. I was like, I'm not getting out. I was like, you guys can get ahead. So Zach and Forrest jump out of the truck, and man, she's laying into these guys. So next thing you know, I got to get out with my ID, and I got to be like, hey, you know, I live right down the road. And she's like, I don't know. This guy here, he's shady looking. Meanwhile, poor Forrest ain't even doing nothing. He's just sitting there. And he's like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, you know, like super polite. And she just didn't want to have it. But she did end up letting us detect. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows,
Yeah,
right,
like this
Forrest? Who
shady
knows?
guy.
He looks a little shady. I get it.
Some of the days though that we go out, and you never know who you're going to meet on some of these.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
so you're knocking on a
Right.
stranger's door.
Yep.
You have no idea.
Good
And
good day for them, bad day for them. It could be anything.
yeah, you're just walking up and taking a risk. And what's funny is just how nice people are, though. I mean,
Yeah.
truly, like that's one of the things I do enjoy is the people that we meet, because they always, a lot of times they do love sharing, the history of their house, and
Right.
they're very proud of it. And, but again, there's always that chance that you're going to have one of those encounters that might go sideways. And that was one of them.
Yeah.
How about the one we got the police called on us? Tell us.
Oh yeah, the police called on us out
With your
there.
Geiger counter.
That's where the Geiger counter really came from.
The police officer asked you, do you guys have Geiger counters? What are you
Yeah.
doing? Like,
He's like, what?
I was done. It took everything out of me not to just fall in.
That guy does, but the rest of us don't.
Because I mean, I joke about it all the time with them. So for this cop to come out and be like, the Geiger counter, I was done. I was spent.
Then the thing is, the neighbor we knocked on previous that didn't answer the door is the one that called the cops on us.
Yeah.
And we were next door, and the lady was out the whole time mowing the grass with us when the two police showed up. And we told him what we did. And he's like, yeah, okay, I know. He goes, I had to answer the call. And then we started talking to him, and he's like,
he got us some permissions.
Yeah, he was trying to get us permission. He goes, there's a really old barn up the street there. I'm going to stop after and see if I can get you guys. He got our phone number and called us and everything.
Yeah.
We went up, and the owner wasn't there, and a guy called him, and he goes, nah, I'd rather not. So
there was another story too that's a fun one. Detective Smile just brought it up because he was with us. So he came to visit us, speaking with Rich and Eddie, come to visit us and hunt with us. And Zach had done this research on this one property that's in the middle of nowhere. And we hit this driveway, and the driveway is like a half-mile long. It's an old dirt road. We're driving down this driveway. There's crosses in the driveway, and then there's figures of skeletons hanging from the
metal sign at the beginning, right? It says, we have a backhoe.
Yeah.
We hide bodies or something crazy.
Yes. So Rich is like,
backhoes and shotguns, and we use them both.
Backhoes and shotguns.
We all pull in there. Rich won't even get out of the truck. Rich is like,
no. He's like, no way.
Me, Zach, and Forrest, we're out of the truck in a minute. We're like, let's go.
I was driving. That's why I didn't get out, because just in case they had, I wanted to make sure I can get out of there before they can get out.
It was definitely funny. And then they're like, Roy, you carrying? And I'm like, no.
I'm pretty sure I asked you that.
Yeah, you did, Zach. But
I mean, there literally was like skeletons.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they were plastic skeletons just hanging.
Wow, creepy.
From the trees, and just we're like, wow, this is going to be They let us have the.
We talked them into it
another trip later. But that day, Rich and guys, if you remember with Detective Smile, that day turned out to be real nice because we ended up, since we didn't get that, we went to the house up the road where Detective Smile found his half cent and all that crazy stuff that we found out of that yard. That's a video that'll be coming soon that people will really like too. There was a plethora of good stuff that come out of there too. So we should thank the skulls and all that stuff that day.
Oh yeah, it was.
Who does the door knocking for the majority? Who does it?
Well, all right, I'm calling BS for a second.
I used to be the door
I knew this would stir them up.
We do that.
I used to be the door knocker.
For the most part, the guys that you see on this side of the screen, the guy with the red hat and then the two balding guys, those are the guys that knock on the door, where these two guys sit in the truck, and then once we get the storm calmed down, they jump out of the truck. Hey, how you doing? I'm Rich. Okay.
We've done it. Look, in all seriousness, we did it for 3 years before that. So like, we're letting them get experience.
You don't want
experience. I got an experience for you, Rich.
Right?
Yeah, we don't want 5 guys.
Like 2 guys, 3, and then
go ahead.
I agree with that.
2 or 3 guys.
So we go up with 2-3 guys, and then we bum rush them after with the other 2 guys. What do you mean at that point?
Yeah.
Well, then you already got the permission by then, and
no kidding.
That's all.
Yeah.
You guys are
I
our
love
people,
it.
man. I tell you what,
That's right.
I'm seeing
yeah.
so many
Oh, yeah.
similarities to when
Right?
we last weekend. Tony we went to this new permission. Tony goes, I'll go up and knock on the door. So Jeff and I hung out in the car, and we're just sitting in the car watching Tony walk up to the door, and we're just chatting, and he's carrying on, just having this great carry on with the owner and stuff. And I'm like, you think we should go out there? And he's like, nah, he's got it. And then at some point we were like, I think he's pulling out maps. Maybe we better get out.
That's exactly how that works too. It's just like
I was getting it good. I had a good permission there. That was
a great one.
Yeah. I mean, that is normally how it works too. Is like I let them get out there. Like, it's all right, you guys got this one. And I, I used to be I'm the talker. I can usually talk. I'm good. Forrest, am I not good? Like me and you did the one and we landed it. We had to sign waivers, but that was still.
Yeah, that was crazy. Actually had to show licenses and
we
just
sign a waiver to.
Yeah, don't do us. Mm-hmm.
right.
I still think me and Zach beat you all.
Oh, I'm sure. I know.
It's not a contest.
At the
But
door knocking.
Yeah.
How are you guys if I put you on the spot?
Go.
Do
You
it.
guys on it? All right,
Yeah.
Zach, you're up.
Boy.
Because a lot of our listeners always like to get more permissions, and we're always asking our guests how you go about doing it. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Zach. You ready?
sure. Yeah, well, I first knock and I introduce myself, of course. I usually raise out my hand, shake it, and I just tell them straightforward, can we're here. We love history. We're a couple of local guys, and can we detect your yard? I mean, plain and simple. There's not a whole lot to it, but and sometimes, I mean, you kind of read the situation too. I mean, you definitely, if you can tell that the person's not real comfortable with, like, I don't know. Well, you just talk to them like anybody else, and a lot of times that's all it takes. You just, once they get to know you and, they get a sense for who you are, and
you're no threat or anything. Yep.
yeah. Well,
You're not selling anything.
because a lot of times, and I always tell these guys, I'm like, if there's a dog there, it's almost always a yes, because for some reason, dogs are a great judge of character and of people. And
Zach
I
is
love
kinda
having two dogs
dog
myself. I'm obsessed with dogs. Ask Roy, his dog that he has with him. I mean, there's not a dog I don't love.
For some reason that
I can't help it, man. But anyway, that's
how do
I
you
go
get
about it.
how does it get around to? Oh, great, thanks. Oh, one more thing. Can I bring 20 of my friends here?
Oh,
we
no,
got a
no,
whole group of us,
so
like
that's
it's got to
where-
come to that point at some point.
But see, now
I'll let Forrest
that's
answer
where.
that.
Yeah, go ahead, Forrest.
Sure. Well, you just so like with the lead up with what Zach had said, you get a feeling if they're on board to begin with or not. So you can try and go ahead of time and be like, hey, do you mind if we bring this many people to the property? And sometimes you just see people the switch flips and they're just like, no.
The one with the skeletons that they were talking about at first,
Yeah.
He just thought it was a couple of us. They're like, oh, we do have a couple other guys coming too. And he's like, whoa, no. And we kind of had to say, no, we're not going to bring our whole family and, set up shop here. So, yeah, there is a little bit of, talking, but
It's just don't beat around the bush, and it's trying not to make it like a sales call, or just,
Yeah. So you're part of the country. Metal detecting's probably more widely practiced or, ingrained into society than it would be, say, in Colorado. You know what I mean? So when you say I want to go metal detecting, a lot of them understand what that is. Whereas like Tony and I have to always explain that, what I mean?
I know we've had situations where we've had to explain it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We get a lot of people ask us like, is that the thing that you guys do on the beach? And I'm like, no, I don't think I've ever gone to the beach yet. So like, I'm not a big fan of the beach hunts. So like, just because I like to find older things, I mean, I'm not against it. I like to find stuff that has history. And a lot of times you can't find that at the beach. And sometimes there are stuff that you can find there. It's just it's not, it doesn't always happen. I mean, I like the beach hunts, but I don't love them. So, if that
How
makes
often do you use history as a primary talking point?
Lot.
Metal detecting
All
NC,
the
Mike
time.
just said
Yeah,
he uses
lot.
that as
literally the first
primary.
thing we
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
Rich definitely uses
time.
that a lot. Yeah.
Yes, they-
Every time. And a lot of times is we don't like, we could take a guess on a house and like we know roughly where it's at, like age wise. And a lot of times, even if they that's where sometimes that we pick it up and we'll get the permission afterwards when they'll be like, no. And I'm like, so wait, and anyways, how old is this house? We kind of were guessing like, you know, like 1890s, 1880s. And they're like, oh yeah, it's right around that time. And sometimes it sparks them to start talking. And then sometimes it does switch their opinion when they realize that we're just for the history. And then, you know, like that sometimes helps with that part of it. So
we've had
that has gotten
we've had
permissions.
people say that, you know, if you guys didn't come and detect and find it, it'd be lost in the ground forever.
Yep.
And we're like, that's exactly right, you know.
So
I always like to use the I'm a nerd and my wife is letting me out doing a fun hobby, and this is what I like to
we're not
do.
at the bar. We're not.
Yeah, I always say that. I was like, you know, I'm a nerd, and this is like, I love history, and I love finding stuff, and my wife allows me out to do this, and I stay out of trouble doing this. I mean, I use that.
Actually,
a lot of times I do bring up the YouTube channel, because when you tell them that you have a YouTube channel, now they know that they have something that they can look at, so that you're not just some stranger coming knocking on their door, scoping out their house. Now when you show them that you have a channel and that you're actually detecting and stuff, that I think that goes a long way as well. And another thing is, I like to use the fact that I'm 50 and I'm a veteran. So I like to say that, you know, I'm 50, I'm a veteran, and I like finding old military stuff. And a lot of times that relates well with the older people. So that's one of the things I like to do when I knock on the doors and try to get the permissions.
I don't always lead off with like when I do a door knock, I don't always lead off with that we have a YouTube channel. I normally tell them like if we land the permission or something like that, and I'll just say, hey,
check us out.
Hey, just let you know, hey, we film, but we won't film the house or anything like that. We try not to like show where we're at and things like that. And I say, like, normally I'm like, if you don't mind, like, we're gonna film, but we like to put it on YouTube, or we have a YouTube channel if you want to check it out. And I don't always lead off with it, but it's funny is like all five of us have a different aspect in how we door knock. And it's actually kind of cool is like, and they all work. And I think that that's a good thing for everyone else to know too, is like, you just have to do it. Like, it's not hard. It's not that it's not hard. And it's just,
Alan.
No, that's funny. Yeah, that's
another story.
Yeah, that's another story.
But we've right on.
But like, it's just it's one of those things. A lot of people are like, I can't do it. Like, I don't want to go knock on someone's door. It's really not that hard, because you just heard 5 of us all have a different pitch, and it's just one of those things. It's a yes or a no, and sometimes you can convince them to change it. Sometimes you can't, but it doesn't hurt to do it. But if you can't, like, if you just don't do it, then you're not going to get the permission. So.
And we've done a lot of door knocks where there's their kids. We get them involved.
Yeah.
And they're hooked. I mean, we asked them, you know, they're all right to be in our video, and they're like, yes. And we've had young girls come out there. They put on an apron with the pouch, and they're out there helping dig, and we get the stuff they find, and they're out there asking, where can I get my kid a metal detector? And we'll hook them up to, get
them out. Yeah.
Tell that story, Tony, about the penny.
Yeah.
The kid
penny
from that killer permission.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. So yeah, just this past weekend, ironically, you mentioned the kids and things like that. So going back to what Ken was talking about, where I was talking about to the landowner, and he's talking about maps and books and things like that, and Ken and Jeff ended up coming out. So we started detecting right away, and the homeowner was actually like, well, I've got 2 of my kids here. They're going to lose their mind when I tell them there's treasure hunters out here trying to find treasure. And so the kids came out, and I normally we detect with our headphones on, so you can really hear, good tones and targets. Kids were out there, no headphones for me. I wanted them to hear the tones and the sounds, and oh my gosh, what is that? I hear a sound over here. First target. And I'm like, oh, I know it's a Zinkin, right? I'm going over this thing, and it's screaming. It's a high tone. It's very loud, right?
Kids'
and
eyes
I'm like,
are getting this big.
Yeah. Roman, come on over here. Let's see this. And I pop out this penny. After that, man, he was in my hip pocket the whole time.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And the dad was right there. And I think he was just as excited as the son was.
Yeah.
You know, and every time I knew I was finding there was a lot of modern coins out there. And normally, you know, we were not looking for coins at all. This was a military, connected to an old military site that we had hunted before. But every high tone that came up, I knew it was a dime. I knew it was a quarter. I'm like, Roman, come over here real quick. He was losing
got a dime
his
next.
mind.
Oh my God, he lost it. Right.
Yeah. And he's holding this stuff going, oh my God, I can get a gumball out of my gumball machine now because I got it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But just including the kids.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely the best when you get the kids involved. You know, I sometimes have my daughter come with us and it's
ooh, there you go.
So, but it's just funny is like when we go to some places and there are kids and there's all of us there, it's hilarious because that kid literally just goes, as soon as that person drops their knee to go find out what it is, they're like beelining that person. It's like, dude, they're getting so many steps in. It's unreal. And
Roy is not the best with the kids.
Yeah, well,
Roy is not a kid guy. That is not my forte, and
I think the kids know that too. It's
like the kids.
2 weeks ago, I got a permission, and I'm doing this permission, and my goodness, man, this guy's the little girl was cute. She was great. My dad was there. You know, he found a real old ring with like a ruby in it. He gave it to the little girl, like it was great. But the little boy, he literally had like a little metal shovel. And as I was digging the hole, he would come over and just start digging with his shovel. And then he started like kicking my coil, and then he smacked his
like on your machine when you lay it down.
I'm not meant to be around children anymore. I am just not. And it took everything out of me because the homeowner was so nice and the little girl was so nice. It took everything out of me not to be like this little. I really had to bite my tongue, and I told my dad, I said, I'm done. I'm going to end up saying something to the poor little kid, and I can't. My vulgarity was going to go off the hook, and I was like, it's time to go, Pops. We got to go. He's laughing. He thought it was funny. Meanwhile, I'm ready to strangle this little kid. I even joked around with Zach, and I was telling Zach, I said, if that would have been my kid, man, dude, that little kid would have been doing the Barney Rubble because I'd have had him by his hair and his little feet would have been going like this. Oh, I was so mad, man. I am not the kid guy. I'm not. Nope. God bless Rich and Zach and all them guys because they are, but not me.
Yeah. Hey guys, listen, we got about 3 minutes left. I want to go round the horn and talk about white whales. Something that you thought you should find or that you wish you could find that you haven't found. We'll start with Roy. He's on the upper left of the screen. What do you think, Roy? White whale.
My dragoon cap. It's my favorite thing I've ever found.
What do you want to find?
Something you haven't found that you want to find.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I know mine is.
Something War of 1812. Anything from like War of 1812. But honestly, I don't have bucket listers. Like, I really don't. I just like to go out and detect, and if I find stuff, it's cool.
That's because he doesn't know what it is anyway.
I don't know what it is, so I kind of so a shield nickel was on my bucket list. I wanted a shield nickel for 3 years.
And you found 5.
One, and I actually got to find one for the first time with these guys, and that was like, yeah.
That's a cool one. Forrest and Zach, how about you guys?
Go ahead. Honestly, the older the better, but no, I'd love to find a flowing hair. I mean, that would be great. So
yeah, I was gonna say the same. Flowing hair, anything. Jeez.
Not a GW?
GW non-girl button. Yeah, of course. Obviously. That's a given. But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's behind you going, leave my buttons alone.
That would look really good up there.
There's so many, just one.
Right there. Yeah, just one.
Yeah, just one.
It's crazy they can still find that. What do you say, Rich?
So I would go with I wanted to say flowing hair because I have a book that has the cover on it is a flowing hair, and it's like one of those coins I always wanted to find. I haven't found one yet, but it would have to be a gold coin of some sort. I'm still in a gold coin mode. I just love to find one just because. And I mean, DK, your reaction, and I think I don't know, it just would be amazing. I don't know what I would do. I probably actually might cry if I got a gold coin. So might be good one day.
It is. You'll find it. You guys are on some good sites, man. It'll come when you're least expecting it. You'll be like, "Is that what it is?" You might not even recognize
Mine would
it.
be a real. I still haven't
Real.
found a real.
Okay, that's
Real
definitely on my bucket list.
or even a half cent. I finally found a flying eagle this year, though.
Yes, and I got to be there for that.
Yep.
And film it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool, man.
What's
well, hey,
your-
thanks. What's that?
What's yours?
Ooh. Man, we don't find a lot here in Colorado. I'm telling you, almost anything you guys just mentioned would be great. Any of that stuff. Probably I think the thing I want to find the most is something that's tied to my family. So if I was able to, because I do a lot of genealogy research on my own family, and I do have about 8 acres that belong to my great grandfather. If I could go there and find something that had a K on it for King, it's my last name, or something I knew was tied to my family, that would be really top on my list. Have that personal connection with it. How about you, Tony? He's like, I found it all. No white whales.
No, gosh, no. Anything, Colorado doesn't go back further than like 1857, 1858. So anything prior to that, War of 1812 would blow me away. And of course, I mean, you go Rev War, those kind of different things, but just beyond what we would expect to find in Colorado, or not expect, but what our cutoff is, anything earlier than that would just make my day. War of 1812 would blow my mind.
Yeah. Absolutely.
One day.
You have to come to the east then, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go to the east to find out.
I was just up in your guys' state. I was up north in the Poconos, up in
Shawnee. Poconos. Yep, it's 3 hours away, right?
Yeah, I was there for vacation. I didn't have my kids with me, but
very nice.
Well, hey guys, thanks a lot for joining us, man. I'm gonna let each of you kind of say your piece on the way out, and then we'll put you down in the green room. And can you hang on? We'll say our goodbyes off the air.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
You guys go for that? Okay, cool. Yeah. Rich and Dave, why don't you guys go ahead and say your last little piece?
I actually want to say thank you for everyone being here, and keep watching. I mean, we do find amazing things no matter what it is, and don't be afraid to door knock. That's the biggest one.
Everybody comments on a video. We always try to do a reply. Not like a lot of people don't reply back, but we try to take the time to reply back, even if it's negative comment. We still thank you for watching it, and that's hope you continue to watch, support us. Thank you.
Yeah. How about you, Roy?
I want to thank everyone that was in the comment section. I had a blast. This was fun. All the comments, all the private chats. It was a lot of fun. And my dog is thanking you as well.
Yeah. That's great. How about Forrest and Zach?
Hey, Ken, Tony, thank you so much for having us. This
thank you, guys.
Really was a blast. And I want to thank everybody out there that watches the channel, and this has been an honor, and keep finding that history.
Oh yeah, it's out there. Go get it.
That's right. Good luck to you both, man. I'll keep watching. I wish nothing but the best for you guys. So hang on. We'll say your goodbyes off the air. We'll put you down in the green room. Thanks again for coming on. Yep. Woo, Tony. That was a big show.
Is it? we just got done with the introductions, it seems like.
Yeah, we're just taking an intermission and we're going to go another hour and a half. Let's go. We're going to talk them off the air, and I guarantee you they're going to be like, that was an hour and a half. Like, there's no way. Yeah.
Awesome guys. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Going back east to dig with them. Amen. God bless America. Like,
that's it.
Jeez, to go
Add them
back
to our
there,
road trip, right? Oh my gosh. We have this road trip planned.
We'll put another pin on the map.
That's it.
I tell you.
That would be a blast. They're one of us, man. They're just as passionate as we are.
Oh, they are. You can feel
like
that.
And
just
give each other the business in the field. And I was going to tell him that our friend Jeff was like a door knocking virgin. He just doesn't want to do it. He's scared to do it. And I keep telling him, listening to the show, because every one of the guests we have on, we kind of ask him, what's your tactic? Hoover boys always start off with, hey, we're not selling anything. Like, that's how they start everything off. So you get some good tips on here, and they gave some great tips tonight. So appreciate them coming on.
Roy said he's just a nerd. I tell you what, man, Roy, you're my kind of guy. We're the same, buddy. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome show this week, and so happy to have them on there. We talk about stories nonstop, and when you're on a podcast, that's what you have to have is the nonstop stories. And just watching the live chat. If you guys are listening on the replay, man, join us for the live chat. There's so many stories going on and connecting, not only with the guests, but with each other in the live chat. I absolutely love it. So fantastic week. Yeah, very cool to have them on. And if you guys want to see anything about the triple score, I'm going to be doing some videos on that. And, there'll be a whole bunch of links, in the description. Is
that the new Nocta machine?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Triple score right there in your hands.
It's in mint condition. Look at the bottom of the core. Never been out of the box.
No, that is cool, man. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Nocta on our show, and I want to let everyone know out there that watches and listens to the show that next week we will have a special day. We're going to be doing the podcast on Wednesday, not on Thursday next week. We're going to be live on Wednesday. Absolutely, Wednesday. Nocta's coming on with us. Mark and Delic will be on to talk about the new triple score and all the different products they've come out with recently. Man, they've come out with a lot. Between the AccuPoint pinpointer and the 3 levels of simplex and the 3 levels now of the score, and of course the legend. What we're going to talk about all. They got a new PI machine coming out. We're going to talk about that. There we go. And maybe we'll give some stuff away on that show. So we'll have to wait and see. So Wednesday night, not Thursday night. We'll be promoting it. We'll be putting out ads on it. Just take a look at it. But don't forget, Wednesday instead of Thursday next week.
Yep. You're not going to want to miss that one for sure.
Right.
That's all I got, man.
Cool. Well, look, have fun this week. Go out this weekend. You're going to go out without me. I still don't believe it. Traitor.
I'll FaceTime you.
Traitor.
I'll FaceTime you.
Yeah, when you find the killer thing, you sure will. Oh, man. No, wish everyone a ton of luck. All the guys you're going out with and Cindy and everybody. You guys are going to have a blast.
Yes.
And everyone, you can check me out on Adventures in Dirt on YouTube. You can find me there every week putting out the show called The Weekly Dirt, where I feature you, the metal detectors out there, and what you're finding and the cool things being found around the world of metal detecting. I'll show you about, I don't know how many finds I put on it, but I'll show you as many cool things as from the videos that I watch that I find interesting. I'll share it with you, and you can find me every week on Adventures in Dirt, anywhere you can get social media, all over the social media. Make sure you check down below in the description for both Tony and I's links, and also to the PA Relic Hunters. Check out all their social media. Go give them some support. Tell them you saw them right here on Relics Radio, and you won't believe some of the videos they've been putting out lately. Great guys, great show. Thanks everyone for being here. If you go out and you get some good stuff, make sure you tell me about it. Good luck to you all. Be safe, and we'll see you on Wednesday. All right.
Grandma's baroque.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.